It's time for our monthly check-in with Adnan Virk. You can find him as the studio host on Prime Monday Night Hockey and on NHL Network. For Prime Monday Night Hockey, where were you on Monday, and where are you going next week?
First off, great to see you, Roy, David, and Ethan. Of course, the last time we saw each other was actually in the flesh in Florida. David, what was the wings place we hung out at? South Florida.
Billy's Tavern.
Billy's Tavern.
I mean,
lemon pepper
best wings in South Florida.
I legit have leftover Billy's in my fridge right now, actually.
Those wings were awesome, man. I have mucked everybody now that I know. Roy, I was just in Toronto, back home, got to see my parents, hung out with them all day on Sunday. Then I watched Wild Leafs. The Wild were all over them. Quinn Hughes is such a marvel to watch. They win that game 6-3. Austin Matthews scores a garbage goal. So frustration there for the Leafs. They had this great 10-game point streak. They've slowed down a little bit, and still they're on the outside looking into a playoff spot, much like your Panthers. You guys know it's hard because it's so congested right now. You get a couple wins together, but you have to wait for the other teams to falter a little bit. I'm next headed to, I don't think you guys are facing this cold. 240 million Americans are about to face frigid cold. Probably nobody there in Miami. So I'm trying to get out.
50s here. I mean, come
on. Yeah, really,
man.
because it is going to be a little colder for you guys. We're going to be 6 to 12 inches of snow on Sunday. So rather than a late flight, I got to go early flight, much to my chagrin. I got to fly to Denver, which is 4.5 hours, seat 32D. Could be a tough one. And then we're off to Edmonton, Alberta, to check out the Oilers taking on the Ducks. And we have the Zoom issue again. There's a color issue.
You got a direct flight to Edmonton, Adnan?
I wish, Dave. Apparently, there's a direct flight, Newark, New Jersey to Calgary. So I don't know why they didn't book me on that. But they said Denver is not expecting snow. So I'm going to fly to Denver first, go see some Broncos fans for the AFC Championship game, and then hop on a plane to Edmonton. This is what it's going to be.
Yeah, Brad Williams going to be pretty excited, I bet. Mm-hmm. Even with Jared Stidham.
I guess that's
better
than Winnipeg. I tell you that. It was under 20.
It's going to be colder. The Panthers were in Winnipeg last night, and it was like the high was in the upper teens, the low was in the lower teens, and insanity that we can't compute down here in Florida. But they're actually going to Minnesota today, and it's going to be colder there, which is what's happening.
It's a great point, David. People would always ask me, how cold was it growing up in Toronto and Eastern Ontario? And I'm like, listen, there's colder places in America. To your point, Minnesota is colder. Like if you go to Billings, Montana, that's colder than many places in Canada. But to Roy's point, Winnipeg and Edmonton, those are the toughest places to stomach whenever I'm going for a hockey game. It's just cold the entire time. You're just frigid.
We brought up Heated Rivalry earlier in the show. Have you watched it? Can you give us a review of the show?
I haven't seen it. I didn't know what it was until Jason Demers referenced it a couple of times. So what is this? And eventually I'm like, it's this gay hockey show. I'm like, okay, to each their own. And then they're like, no, it's hugely popular. And I have a friend of mine, because I'm represented by CAA, and he said, at the Golden Globes, they've got all these massive stars. I'm like, no, I'm aware. Oscar nominations came out yesterday. And they said, George Clooney and Leonardo DiCaprio, all these massive stars. He goes, everybody was excited to talk to who? The two stars of Heated Rivalry. They're like, wait, we got to go talk to those gay hockey players. Those guys are unbelievable. So it's become a massive sensation, because I would have thought, Roy, it's one of those things where, okay, maybe it's popular in hockey circles, but it's gone way beyond that. Like now there's people who are not hockey fans who are saying they're becoming hockey fans because of Heated Rivalry. So I haven't seen the show. I should probably check it out at some point. I've got the basic tangential edge to it. Our producer, Tal, on our podcast, Unscripted, told me that it was a little more in your face than he was expecting. He's like, I thought it'd be like kind of a supple. I'm like, no, it's like long sex scenes with these two guys. I'm like, okay, here we go. And there's not a lot of hockey, so I'm not exactly expecting Slapshot, but it has certainly become a cultural talking point. It's not to the point where I'm asking NHL players about it. Maybe I should go pull aside Leon Draisaitl. Hey, what do they think of Heated Rivalry so far? But it's definitely become a conversational talking point, no doubt about it.
You know what? I was just like, I haven't watched it and I'm not going to watch it, but there's an actor that he is supposed to be Russian, and he's not Russian.
I can't believe this guy's not Russian.
He's from Texas.
Is that what? This is what you told me in the kitchen.
He's from Texas. He learned Russian in eight weeks or something like that. Or it might even be 8 days that he learned Russian before they started filming.
That's impossible. Listen, I talked to Rodrigo.
I have no idea how he did it.
We talked to Rodrigo Abels on our podcast of the Philadelphia Flyers. He's obviously a fourth-line winger, unfortunately now out with a serious injury. But he's a really smart guy. He speaks excellent English. And Demers and I were both impressed. So, we grew up in Latvia. How can you speak such good English? He said, well, in Latvia, they teach us English, grade 3 on. And he can also speak Russian. And Demers is like, wait, you can speak Russian? And he's like, yeah. He goes, and Jason has played overseas. He goes, that is a very, very difficult language. So I'm going to already call BS that he learned Russian in 8 days. That's an impossibility. That's one of the hard. They say if you can speak Spanish, right, you can speak Italian pretty quickly, French, etc. Russian is widely considered to be, along with Mandarin, one of the toughest languages in the world. So I'm going to go ahead and call BS. He did not learn Russian in 8 days.
Yeah, I'll put my hand up on that one, Coach. Ball out on me. It was about a month and a half, it says. So
okay,
he learned,
that I could see.
But that's still a crazy crazy amount of time to learn Russian, to speak it in a show, to the
6
point
weeks.
where some people have said, like, he did a really good job. I personally thought that the accent was, like, one of the parts of the show
If
that
you're
wasn't great,
Russian-
but
Yeah.
it's pretty impressive
If
what he
you're
was
Russian,
able to do.
you think the accent is bad.
And I've been around.
If you're not Russian, you're like, okay, this is Russian, and I was like, oh, the Russian
I thought it was
actor.
pretty good. I've been
Yeah.
around a lot of Russians over the years, and I've watched it. I'm not thinking, wow, that sounds kind of fake. When you told me that he was an American actor, that blew my mind. I think the acting in this show, forget about whatever you might think about what's happening in the show. The acting in this show has been spectacular.
100%.
Oh, I've seen scenes just for that because other things I'm like, I cannot watch it, but that's why I watched. That's why I watched this actor, and he started giving me this accent, and I'm like, wow, he's so handsome. I'm like, hey, yeah, the Russian guy is so handsome, and then they're like, he's from Texas. I'm like, no, he's Russian.
The American actor playing the Russian hockey player
Yes.
with a Canadian name, by the way,
Very
Connor
nice.
Story with an IE at the end.
Yeah, I was just going to say that the show, like Adnan mentioned, that the show has had crossover. It's been more people that didn't know hockey that are
Yes.
becoming fans of hockey because of the show,
Yes.
rather than hockey fans becoming fans of the show. Like, it's opened hockey to a whole new world, and I think it's really awesome.
I've had people approach me over the last week or so at my other job talking about Heated Rivalry that we've never spoken about sports before. Like, these are news people. These are game show people. And they're like, oh, my God, have you seen this show? And is it really realistic? And are these the real teams? And it's like, okay, like, obviously it's working.
Well, as you guys know, hockey is for everyone, despite the NHL's best efforts. Hudson Williams and
Despite Ivan Provorov's opinion. Go ahead.
Bring back Pride Tape, and then you can celebrate Heated Rivalry, okay?
and the Stalls. Hudson Williams and Connor Story are the stars of the show, and they have been named the official torchbearers of the Olympic torch relay. And this is a segue into the Olympics because I'm a professional broadcaster.
Right.
What are your thoughts heading into the Olympic Games? Who do you have favored to win, and who do you think is a dark horse going into the games?
Of course, I've got Canada winning it because I'm obviously a proud Canadian, but I do think the U.S. is right there. I think it's going to be a rematch of the four nations and both these teams going toe-to-toe. It's been such a fascinating conversation because one thing I've appreciated about Americans living in this country for 15 years, you guys are as patriotic and as jingoistic as it gets. You know, for years, I would tell people there's a casual American hockey fans who think TJ Oshie is the equivalent of Connor McDavid because what he did on a national stage. So I remember Mike Golick told me, I don't watch hockey. Well, the Olympics, I'm in. So I can't wait for this bump of the USA hockey that we're going to see. And, of course, the diehards like us are watching it all the time and how these guys are going to perform. A couple of fascinating subplots. Always in net is interesting to me. For Canada, you feel like that's not a strength. Binnington has not been very good this season. The Blues are a bad team, but he was fabulous in the Four Nations. Does he get game one start? And if he falters easily, then do they go to the next goalie? Kind of like the World Juniors, right? Give everyone a start. Or right out of the gate, as Devin Dubnyk told me, he thinks he'll be Logan Thompson. He's like, it's his net to lose. He'll get the start unless he falters. That's interesting.
Yeah.
USA goaltending, by the way, not as strong as you might think on paper. You go, oh, yeah, Hellebuck, Swayman, Ottinger. But these guys, I mean, if you look at the numbers, I was looking since December 12th. I mean, Hellebuck obviously has been hurt. Hasn't been the same guy. So that's interesting. However, in the thought there'll be huge advantage for USA. May not necessarily be the case. I still love USA's back end, but I love Canada's forwards. So you can make a case for each strength, each weakness. I will say, Roy, potential dark horse, at least at the World Juniors, Czechia has had Canada's number. They've beaten us 3 straight years at the World Juniors. Maybe Czechia could be strong. Ethan's raising his hand to make a strong
I don't
point.
know.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. And I think they have some underrated NHL talent, and they won the World Championships 2 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. So that is absolutely a team I think can compete.
Actually,
in these Olympic
that was
Games.
Ethan calling his dog.
Oh, well, also Percy's down
Yeah.
here. And but I was pointing to Adnan and saying that's a really, really good point.
I assumed this one. Either he was like raising the roof, like, yeah, preach, keep going, or he was trying to signal somebody for like a technical
I'm
issue.
with you, Adnan. I think they're my dark horse as well. That was going to be my
No,
answer.
guys, we are totally ignoring the host nation as the dark horse, Team Italy. I mean,
Wow.
what are we doing here? I'm just looking at the roster, and I'm afraid to start saying some of these names. I mean, Giovanni Morini, Alexander Pitan. Like,
Are there any
Nick
NHL players on
Saccarino?
that team like doing like the World Baseball Classic where a bunch of Jews play for Team Israel and stuff?
these,
Or, like,
these look like a lot of Italian names. Like, this looks like the Sopranos men's league team. Like, this is spectacular. I'm definitely going to be rooting for Team Italy.
I wish there was a Sopranos men's league team now. Imagine Vito out there on
Great.
defense. Oh my
Paulie
God, good luck
Galtieri
around
coming
him.
up the wing.
Oh my God,
I'm in a
Paulie
rewatch
Walnuts.
right now. We can talk about that later, Adnan.
That's a fun idea, though. We can make our Sopranos starting 6. That's actually maybe
Got
we
some
should.
I bet you,
gabagool.
bet you Christopher's a feisty forward, man. You
like,
get him in the corners.
we're
watch
on to
out.
something here, Adnan, because like you're
Yeah.
you're the movie guy, you're the show guy. Maybe we could every visit we take a different show or movie and we create our starting six.
I love it. I'm putting Johnny Sacks in net.
Oh, that's a good one.
Johnny Sacks is immovable, very stubborn.
All right, so I have no segue here because I'm not a professional. I just want to talk to you about the Panthers and Matthew Kachchuck. Because Matthew Kachchuck is back, Adnan and the rest of the league is very scared. Based on the first two games, the Panthers have played with Kachchuck in the lineup against the Sharks and the Jets last night. They're going after him. They're testing his injury. He's getting knocked around and he's popping up. He's just fine. But now that Kachchuck is back in the lineup, Brad Marchand should be back in the next several days at some point. The Panthers are getting healthy, Adnan. How scary is that for the rest of the Eastern Conference?
Yeah, I mean, this is now it's go time, certainly for the Florida Panthers. And we had Bill Zito on our podcast. I've never met Bill before. And just as we're about to speak, he kind of stares intently at the camera, then goes, "You look a lot like Chris Chelios." And I laughed. I said, I said, I get that everywhere.
Yes.
I said, I was in Toronto, and I said, several fans go, Chelly. I go, "Hey, how you doing?" I got a picture of Chelly. Sure, problem. And of course, I play along. Oh, yeah. I'm like, no, I just play along every time. Yep, Chelly, nice to see you. Good to see you. I'm like, yeah. I'm 47. I think Chelios is like 62, at least 3 inches taller. Won a few Stanley Cups in North Shore. But yeah, I have no scars on my face, but I'm much more cleaner.
Sign some
Chelios.
hockey cards.
Yeah, that's what I should do. Get to the next level. But I asked Zito about it. He said, listen, of course, Kachuk is massive for our team. You know what I mean? He's so important. He does so many things, both in the room and outside the room. And he said, Marchie is right there as well. He said, Marchand, you know, when I traded for him, of course, I would have made a move for him. Like, the guy's just a great player. But I can't emphasize enough how important these guys are in the room. Because I know it's a cliche. You guys think it's not that important, but it is. It's not just what you're doing on the ice. It's the way these guys are leaders, and they can ride the team around. And right now, we're on the outside looking in. And as I look, the Panthers, 55 points, 3 points out. But again, I look at the number of teams you're going to catch. 2 or 3 teams. Who's the team to falter, right? Boston will slow down a little bit. They've won 7 of the last 8. The Sabres have been on an unbelievable run. They're going to slow down a little bit. So you go, okay, Panthers at least a wild card. And you look at the Atlantic right now. That's where it gets tricky, David. I go, okay, who are you going to dislodge? You're not catching Tampa Bay, maybe Detroit or Montreal, but like there does become a situation where after the break, there's going to be 25, 26 games left? Like that's it. It's like you're playing every other day, and it's going to be a sprint to the finish. So is it scary for the rest of the league? Yeah, but the Panthers know they got to take care of business and go on a heater just to get in.
Yep.
Adnan, the big story tonight in the NHL is going to be Mitch Marner's return to Toronto. I think we all know what is going to happen, right? He's going to get the shit boot out of him. Do you expect it to be like LeBron returning to Cleveland levels, or what are you expecting to see tonight in this?
Yeah,
return?
I think it's going to be pretty nasty. I don't think it's quite LeBron to Cleveland, but this is a guy who, you know, was a GTA guy, grew up in the Greater Toronto area, dream was to play for the Leafs, gets there, plays great. Had great moments in the regular season, but of course, never capitalized in the playoffs and became the poster boy and the whipping boy for all their foibles and all their concerns. Now, ultimately, he's 6th all-time in the Leafs in points, which is pretty impressive. Think of that franchise. We can make all the jokes we want. They haven't won since '67, but, you know, from the likes of Darryl Sittler to Rick Vibe, there have been great players in that team. So to be 6th all-time in points, Mitchie certainly got it done the regular season, but the playoffs he didn't. And then he took Vegas' money, $96 million over 8 years. You know, this wasn't a situation where Toronto said, we can't afford you or don't want you. They wanted him back. He just took the bigger offer. So I hope at least, you know, when they show the video tribute, he'll get a nice ovation. I would expect that every single time he touches the puck, though, it will be venomous. Vegas played the Leafs last week in Vegas, and Vegas won that game. Marner had a couple of assists, but I'm sure he's going to hear it early and often, and good for the Leafs. I mean, obviously, their fan base is upset that he's left. They were a better team when he was there. The Leafs liked the Panthers.
It's their fault, though.
Also,
yeah,
exactly.
It's their fault.
They
Right,
completely ran him out of town. Let's be very clear about this.
And it's so funny because, like, now you hear people say, well, maybe we should have made a better effort to keep Marner. I'm like, you think? I'm like, you know, when a guy has chemistry with Austin Matthews and he's directly responsible for him scoring 2 60-goal seasons, he's an important player. And, you know, maybe he's not going to be a Selke finalist this year, but he's been known for his defensive excellence, going both ways, and obviously being a high scorer. He's not going to be the kind of scorer he was a year ago, by the way, when he had 100 points, but still a really good player, good fit in Vegas. He's got a better chance of winning the Cup in Vegas this year than he did in Toronto ever. So it'll be a raucous return. We'll see how it goes.
That's an angry Maple Leafs fan, but he's also spitting facts. Okay? Let's be clear.
All right, real quick before we get to Rose's big Oscar question that she has for Adnan, let's talk midseason award predictions right now. So we got the Jack Adams. We're talking about Joel Quenneville potentially winning that thing. But, yeah, the Ducks
Ducks have fallen off. By the way, Ducks is who I'll be watching, Roy. I have not seen the Ducks much, at least in person. So Ducks Oilers, I look forward to watching Monday on Prime and talking to Q. I'm with you. He would have been a good option. I think it's going to be John Cooper. John Cooper has never won the Jack Adams. He's clearly one of the best coaches in hockey. The Lightning are outstanding. To me, they're the best team in the Eastern Conference. I'm hanging with Mr. Cooper. That's my pick for the Jack Adams.
John Cooper is the Bill Zito of the Jack Adams Award. Right. Bill Zito hasn't yet still not won the GM of the year. He's the GM of the decade, but he's not the GM of the year. So anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. Go on.
Norris Trophy. What you got there? Because it looks like the
Cale
usual
Makar
guys.
until he retires. It's Cale Makar every year, Roy. I mean, Quinn Hughes is awesome to watch. I like Zach Werenski a ton.
Lane Hudson.
It's Cale Makar every time. Yeah, Hudson's great. It's Cale Makar every time.
Calder Trophy. What you got?
Calder's interesting. I think I'll go Demidov. I think he's leading right now in rookie points. But I got to tell you, the guy I'm really looking forward to watching is Beckett Seneca. That guy's unbelievable for the Ducks. He's a good player to watch. Ethan's backing me up.
Love him. Love that Ducks team.
Vezina. It won't be Connor Hellebuck this year. It won't be 3 in a row.
It's Team Canada.
No.
Goalie.
I'm going to go Ilya Sorokin. It's a little more wide open right now.
Good choice, actually.
Yeah, Sorokin's had a great year for the Islanders. Patrick Waugh, obviously one of the greatest goalies of all time, is his head coach. He started off slowly, but Sorokin's been on a run, and the Islanders are kind of a surprise team. They're second right now in the Metro. I'm going to go Sorokin right now because I think the Avalanche goalies kind of canceled themselves out. You could make a case for Vasilevsky. His numbers aren't spectacular, but the Lightning are really good. I'll go Sorokin.
And the Hart Trophy is the usual guys with McKinnon, McDavid, and Kucherov. But Macklin Celebrini making a little bit of noise.
Yeah, Celebrini is responsible for 50% of his team's points, which is the highest percentage of any player with regards to their team's points. I'd love to tell you, if the Sharks make the playoffs, Celebrini will win the Hart, but I think it's Connor McDavid's to lose. Him and McKinnon, by the way, both toe-to-toe. I think it'll be a great race. And Kucherov, I'm glad you mentioned, Roy, the Rodney Dangerfield, no respect. The guy's unbelievable every year, and he'll be destined to be third, if not fourth, this season. So I'd love to say if Mac can get the Sharks in, he'll get it, but I think it's McDavid.
Okay. To close this off, first of all, I'm going to go root for Italy. Look at that man. Is in the roster, so that's why I'm going to go Italy.
All right, Team Italy. Let's go, Rose.
Oh, yeah. Team Italy, for sure. Look at
What's
that
his name?
It
ends in a vowel.
That's not fair.
Yeah, it's in a vowel.
Something like that. Okay. It doesn't matter.
I think it does, but okay.
Okay, Mikael Freiglund. Something like that.
Okay, go ahead.
So, Adnan. This is the first time a Brazilian actor, has been nominated.
Wagner Moura for the Secret Agent, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And don't judge me. I love him. He's very handsome. Even when he plays Pablo Escobar, I actually have a picture there. And people are like, how do you like him as Pablo Escobar? But he's great. Do you think he can win it?
I think he's got a chance. I'll be honest with you. He won the Golden Globe, so that's always a good sign. Now, they split the Globes, right? It's best comedy or musical actor, and it's best actor drama. So Timothée Chalamet, to me, is the favorite, and I think he should win. Yeah, I think Timothée should win. He's 30 years old, huge Knicks guy. Some people find him obnoxious, and I've been in that camp, but I think he's a hell of an actor. And he was really great as Bob Dylan a year ago, and Marty Supreme is one of my favorite movies of the year. Josh Safdie did an unbelievable job, and so did Chalamet. So I think Chalamet will win. I think DiCaprio's got a good chance because people want to see him win a second Oscar. The guy I would actually vote for, Rose, if I had to vote, is Ethan Hawke. He's one of my favorite actors. It's his first Best Actor nomination for Blue Moon. So Wagner's got a chance, especially with the foreign voters, but I do think it's going to be Timmy.
Okay.
I really want to see Marty Supreme. I haven't seen that yet.
It's great, David. You'd love it. It's really exhilarating, highly entertaining. You'll love it.
All right, Adnan Virk of Prime Monday Night Hockey and NHL Network. Thank you for joining us, Adnan.